Hello everybody. I wanted to pop into the group today just to share some information about how to track your trips when you're travelling longer term. And actually I'd planned to do this and then I just spotted a question. So hi Deborah, I saw your question and actually this is probably very relevant to you because I saw that you were looking at ways of documenting your trip and then also saving it for afterwards so you've got something tangible for the future. So someone asked this question about a year ago and I did quite a lot of research into it, and the two apps at the time that came up were Track My Tour and Tracking My Travels. So those are the two that members had used before I looked into. They were still a little bit clunky. Other options are, I know a lot of you keep Facebook pages so that family members can follow it. And then at the end of your trip, there are different options of printing these off and creating like a hardback book. So I also looked into ways of printing those off. The two that I think look probably best for the travel market are Yearbound and My Social Book. And the reason these are better than some of the other solutions is that it allows you to choose what you want to have documented. So if you only want to have your post and the photo, you can, and you don't have to have all the comments underneath, or you can choose to have the comments that people have made underneath your post. So it's up to you what you actually put in and how you present the information. So that's a nice way of actually printing stuff off at the end of your trip. And I know a lot of you also have blogs as well. I think with the Facebook, one handy thing is if you prefer to use Instagram, then you can just put your Instagram post on, share it directly into the Facebook page that you've created, and then you can print that off at the end into a book. So that's one way of doing it with the least amount of effort. But a couple of months ago I discovered an app which I love. One of our friends was travelling on the Trans-Siberian Express and he wanted to try and document his tour for his family because he was going off, he was turning 40 and he was having a little bit of a holiday on his own. I'm not sure how you'll be able to see this, but he researched into a number of these different apps, and this is the one that he preferred, and this is the one that we followed his trip on. It's called Polar Steps. Let me see if I can do this. What I like about it is basically what happens is if I go in, so I follow Jules on his trip. So sorry, Jules, hope you don't mind me using yours as an example. So if I click into Julian, then it shows his trip. So you can have multiple trips there. This is the only one that he did, Singapore to London. So if I click into his trip, it basically tracks everything by GPS as you go. And you can upload photos, you can write onto it. So actually when you're looking at it, it looks like a similar sort of platform to a Facebook page, but it's all travel related. So this is, oh, hang on, let me just get this right. This is his trip in entirety that he did. And if I click on a photo, let me try and do this. I'm not very good at doing this. Okay, so day 17, March the 31st. No, hang on, I'm not doing this very well at all, am I? If I click on a photo, here we are. So it brings up the photo. If I click into it, you can see that it's got the photo, and you probably can't see that actually, but it's basically got all the writing about what he did there, and you can scroll through and it creates a story really. So your friends and family can follow your trip. You can write as much as you want, you can upload as many photos as you want, and it's documented in one place. What I love about it, let me see if I can bring this up. It collates all your trips. So if you did a 2-week trip and then you didn't travel for a while and then you wanted to do another trip, you set them up as separate trips, but it collates all your information together. So you can look at all the stats of how far you've traveled, which countries you've covered, how long you were in each location for. But what I love about it at the end, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you this now, let me try and find it. I need to show you what it does. It creates a really beautiful book. So once you've finished, you can have it all bound up, and it has it's done really beautifully with a map that shows exactly where you went, with some little photographs to sort of pinpoint each area, and then all the information that you've written about your trip is also included. And Julian looked into a couple of these options, and some of them would automatically pull photos from your mobile phone up onto a platform, which actually you don't really want all of your photos on there, do you? You want to be able to choose. So this was actually the best one. Highly recommend it. I've only actually seen one person mention it in the group before, which is why I wanted to share it with you guys, because I think it's a really good solution. Free to use. I couldn't tell you how much the book cost because I haven't actually used it myself. If I'd known about this in January, I would have used it for my Mexico trip. But I'll put all the links underneath, and if anyone has tried it, let us know and post your recommendations or your findings below this post. So I hope that's useful, and Deborah, I hope that answers your question about how you want to document your long-term trip, and I will see you all soon. Bye.